So let's listen in, everyone.
Hey, good afternoon. Sergeant Perrine, Indiana State Police, along with Chief Chris Bailey from IMPD. Earlier this afternoon, about 1:30, officers from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department were following up on an investigation of a wanted person. I'm going to give you a list of the charges that were on the warrant for the person who was wanted, who they were looking for, and then I'll give some more information about the actual incident that occurred. I want you guys to keep in mind, please, that this information we're sharing is preliminary. You can see behind me a very active investigation happening as we're standing here right now. And so a lot of the questions you have are the same questions we have. That's the purpose of an investigation, is to answer those questions. But the person who they were looking for, who they found here in Johnson County, was wanted on warrant for domestic battery committed in the presence of a child, which is a level 6 felony, strangulation, criminal confinement while armed with a deadly weapon, criminal confinement with bodily injury, intimidation with a weapon, interference with reporting of a crime, and pointing a firearm at another person. This person was also a person of interest in a recent homicide that occurred in Indianapolis. So the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department were tracking this person. They found him here. They deployed their SWAT team. The SWAT team conducted an operation in an attempt to take this man into custody. During that operation, shots were fired by officers who were involved, and the suspect was hit by gunfire. He was transported to a local hospital and pronounced deceased at the hospital. Again, a lot of information still yet to come from this. No officers were injured. No uninvolved parties were injured. Everybody's accounted for that we're looking for at this time. We were on scene here with IMPD during the incident was the Franklin Police Department as well as the Johnson County Sheriff's Office. And all of those agencies, including the Indiana State Police, are working together right now to conduct this investigation. However, the ISP is leading this investigation.
Thank you, John. First, I want to say that there was a life lost today, and that's not lost on me or anyone else. It's a tragedy, and no one ever wants to see these type of things come to that. And so my thoughts are with those impacted by that loss. I'm also grateful that our officers are going home to their families tonight. And yet, this is yet another example of our officers putting themselves between us and bad things and bad people in order to keep our community safe, doing exactly what we ask them to do every single day, which is to go after those small number of people and places and behaviors that are contributing to violent crime in our community. It's unfortunate that it had to end this way, and I will now and continue to preach compliance with officers. If we do what you're asked to do, hopefully these things don't end in violence the way and death the way we saw today. It just didn't have to be that way. And so I'm thankful for the assistance we had from the Franklin Police Department, the Johnson County Sheriff's Office, and like John said, this investigation, criminal investigation of this shooting will be conducted by the Indiana State Police. IMPD is working alongside of the Indiana State Police for the administrative investigation. We'll follow all of the IMPD processes that we've laid out many times in the past. Finally, once the criminal investigation is complete, it will be reviewed by our use of force review board, and then the findings will be given to me. So there's still a lot we don't know. There's a lot of video to go through, a lot of body-worn cameras which were deployed and operating in this particular situation. I'll tell you there also were less lethal tools used in this particular operation as well. And as the investigation moves along, we're hopeful to share more information with you about all the facts and circumstances surrounding this event. So thank you. We'll take any questions.
Have you guys located a firearm?
Yes, a firearm was recovered here at the scene by investigators. It's obviously still here. So yeah, we have recovered a firearm that we believe was in the semi.
And what homicide was this a person of interest in?
That's still a part of the investigations. I'm not going to reveal that particular incident at this moment. The detectives are still working through all the facts and circumstances of that case, still putting a lot of those pieces together, and there's still a lot of work to do in that case.
And was that Did you guys have a warrant in that case, or just the domestic battery case?
The warrant in this case was just related to a different incident for domestic violence.
This person is a truck driver, is that correct?
I'm not exactly. He was in a truck. I'm assuming. I don't know what he does for a living, but he was in that rig right there.
Do you know how? So I mean, there was clearly, it seems like a worry that this guy was gonna. You got 3 Bearcats here. Can you sort of? I mean, was this a person that you thought was going to be a very dangerous person, or is a dangerous person?
I'm not going to go. I wasn't part of the operational planning of this, but anytime we utilize our SWAT and our violent crime unit, which were involved in this particular investigation, the person they're looking for is considered armed and dangerous. So we want to make sure that we bring all the tools and resources that are available to us to bring these things to a successful end, especially when you're dealing with somebody that may potentially be armed. So we utilize those tools for those purposes.
Any idea how many officers were involved in the shooting?
I believe that we had 3 shooting officers, but there were multiple officers here.
Do you know roughly what time it happened? And I did see a video from one witness who you can hear police mentioning, get out and stop what you're doing. Do you know roughly how many times they said that?
No, go ahead, John. Sorry.
That's all going to be part of our investigation. When we review footage and things like that, the officers conducted this operation. They attempted to take the suspect into custody by utilizing available resources and leading to the officer-involved shooting. So again, a lot of the details about exactly what happened will come once we have a chance to review all the video.
Chief, can you explain why ISP is handling this? This isn't normal protocol for Indianapolis OIS.
For most of the incidents around the state of Indiana, Indiana State Police is the lead agency. IMPD is the largest agency in the state. Most of the time we'll take care of our own, but because this happened in Johnson County, I thought it was best that we let ISP lead this investigation. And it wasn't in our own county, so they probably work more closely with the coroner's office down here, their crime lab, and the prosecutor down here. So this was what I thought was the best path forward.
Do you have any other details on the person who died? Roughly what age? Where do they live?
Later tonight, we'll release all that information. When we have a written release, we'll release the identity of the deceased suspect, and that'll come out this evening.
One more question.